the Garden of Innocence, setting the stage for a cosmic tragedy. Genesis 3 begins in the idyllic Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve, the first humans, lived in perfect harmony with God and with nature. This wasn't just a nice garden, it represented the perfect world God created. Everything was good, reflecting God's design and love. However, this pristine existence was about to be shattered. A cunning serpent representing the forces of evil entered the scene, casting a shadow over paradise. The serpent's arrival marked the beginning of a cosmic struggle between good and evil, with humanity caught in the middle. The serpent's whisper, temptation, and the first sin. The serpent's words began to take root in Eve's mind. Doubt crept in, whispering that maybe God wasn't being entirely truthful. She looked at the forbidden fruit, now seeing it differently. It appeared desirable, a source of wisdom and power. Eve's desire for this newfound knowledge, fueled by the serpent's deception, overwhelmed her. She took the fruit and ate it. Adam, who was with her, also partook of the fruit. At that moment, everything changed. They had disobeyed God's direct command, succumbing to the temptation to become like God themselves. This act of disobedience, this grasping for something that wasn't theirs to have, is the essence of sin. It is a turning away from God, a choosing of self over the Creator. The crumbling walls. Disobedience and its immediate impact. The consequences of sin were immediate and devastating. Adam and Eve, once naked and unashamed, were suddenly overwhelmed with guilt and shame. They tried to hide from God, their innocence lost. Their relationship with God, once characterized by open communication and love, was fractured. Fear and distrust replaced intimacy and joy. The effects of sin extended beyond Adam and Eve's relationship with God. Their relationship with each other was also damaged. Blame and accusations replaced love and unity. Harmony within creation was disrupted, with nature itself seemingly groaning under the weight of their transgression. The once perfect world God had created was now marred by sin, its consequences rippling outward. Section 4. Exile and Consequences, God's Just Discipline. God, in His perfect holiness, could not ignore their sin. He confronted Adam and Eve, holding them accountable for their actions. He cursed the serpent, promising enmity between his offspring and the offspring of Eve. To the woman, He brought pain in childbirth and relational struggles. To the man, He assigned toil and hardship in work. Finally, God banished them from the Garden of Eden, preventing them from accessing the tree of life. This exile was not merely a punishment, but also a protection. God, in His mercy, shielded them from the full consequences of their sin and the potential for eternal separation from Him. This act of discipline, while severe, demonstrated God's justice and love. He could not allow sin to go unaddressed, but neither could He abandon His creation. Section 5. A Glimmer of Hope, the Promise of Redemption. Even in the midst of judgment, God offered a glimmer of hope. He promised that one day, a descendant of Eve would crush the head of the serpent, defeating the power of sin and death. This promise, though veiled in mystery, pointed towards a future redemption. God, in His infinite love and mercy, had already conceived of a plan to rescue humanity from the consequences of their sin. This plan would unfold over generations, culminating in the person of Jesus Christ. Through His sacrifice on the cross, Jesus would atone for the sins of humanity, bridging the gap between God and man. He would conquer death, offering the gift of eternal life to all who believe in Him. This promise of redemption is the central message of the Bible, offering hope and restoration to a fallen world. Section 6. Echoes in Eternity, Timeless Lessons from the Fall. The story of Adam and Eve is not just an ancient tale, it holds profound lessons for us today. It teaches us about the nature of sin, its consequences, and God's incredible love. We learn about the dangers of temptation, the importance of obedience, and the devastating effects of pride and self-reliance. We are reminded of our own fallen nature, our capacity for both great good and terrible evil. Most importantly, Genesis 3 points us to the hope of redemption found in Jesus Christ. It reminds us that even in our brokenness, God is still at work, pursuing us with His love and offering us forgiveness and new life. The story of the fall is ultimately a story of hope, a testament to God's unwavering faithfulness and His desire to restore His creation. It is a story that continues to resonate throughout history, offering guidance, comfort, and the promise of a future free from the grip of sin and death.